Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's so great to see you all this morning, and admittedly, it's pretty fun to see you all from this perspective today. Usually I'm sitting right over there, watching from a very different vantage point, but my ability to be here today to see you all from this perspective is thanks to an opportunity from our Board of Trustees, and I'm happy to introduce a couple of our trustees who are here with us today. We have Trustee Mary Petlichkov, and our chair, Trustee Adel Mozip. And at this time, I will invite Chair Mozip up to give some welcoming remarks. And if any other trustees snuck in on us, please give us a shout so that we can make an announcement as well.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Well, it's a privilege to be with you here today. And as President of the Board of Trustees, the Chair, I want to begin by thanking you for your dedication to our students and to the mission of Henry Ford College. Student success still remains as our top priority, and we're proud of the progress that we've made. We're actively executing on our strategic plan, which is guiding us toward a stronger and more innovative future. A major milestone, as you are all aware, is the upcoming SEMC buildings, the Southeast Michigan Student Success Center, a space that will be designed to support, guide, and uplift every student who walks through our doors. And it's going to be clear that the bright future is coming here to Henry Ford College. We also know that Henry Ford College is a great place to work because of you, your passion, your dedication, and the support that you give to every student who walks in to the doors of Henry Ford College. Thank you to Interim President Gonko for her support. I recognize Trustee Petlichkov here in the audience, but Dr. Gonko signed up for this job not just too long ago, about a month and a half ago. And she has been doing an excellent job since taking this position. And we're grateful on the Board of Trustees for her job. As we look ahead, the board is actively now engaged in the search for our next president. This is a pivotal moment, and your input will be essential in selecting our next president. So please be on the lookout for information on how to get involved in this process. I also want to share with you and acknowledge that 2 trustees on the board have recently resigned, and those trustees were Trustee Irene Watts and Trustee Hussein Berry. We thank them for their service and contributions to Henry Ford College, as well as the P12 district. And now the board is in the process of filling those vacancies, and we remain committed to strong, inclusive leadership as we move forward. So to say the least, we have a lot going on. But I know that sometimes that could feel, uncertain times. But I would say uncertainty brings more opportunities. Opportunities to be engaged, to lead, and to shine. I have no doubt that this college will rise to that occasion. Thank you for all that you do. I look forward to this presentation, and let's keep building our future together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair Mozip. We are always appreciative of your support of the institution and our employees and our students. I'd like to begin today by sharing some really great news and thanking everyone who has contributed to our Fall 2025 enrollment. As of today, with 106,692 credit hours, which is 5% higher than we were at this time last year, we are only 154 credits away from our goal of 106,846 credit hours. So that is amazing news. And with such a small gap to go to reach that goal, I have a feeling we've actually met it while we're all sitting here eating bagels and drinking coffee. But more to come. We'll keep adding students and credit hours up through our census date, which is September 5th, at which time our fall enrollment will officially lock. I'd like to thank everyone for their hard work on this, especially those who have gone above and beyond with our extra events, such as supporting our Super Saturday event on August 9th. So thank you all for your efforts. Before we get to the college updates, I'd also like us to thank Bruce Wall and Jonathan Thompson and their teams for the fantastic breakfast, as always, that they have served us. Thank you. Great job, as always. I'd also like to take a moment and share some thoughts with you about this time of transition at the college, which Chair Mozip just briefly touched upon. I've had the privilege of serving as the interim president for just over 7 weeks, a very short amount of time, but my time here at HFC goes back to 2012, and my time in higher ed, specifically in community colleges, even further back to 2000. And over the years, I have had the pleasure of working with many of you in this room, but I recognize that we also have some teammates that are newer to the institution or people I've just not had a chance to meet yet. So by way of an introduction, or perhaps a reintroduction, I'd like to just share with you a couple of brief comments about me and my background so that you know how I am viewing the work that we are all doing here together. I began my career at Macomb Community College in 2000 as an administrative assistant, very briefly in the payroll office, and then on into the automotive program. I spent nearly a decade supporting the faculty and the students in automotive and other industrial trades and engineering technology programs. And during those years, I absolutely fell in love with what I was seeing around me and getting to experience. I was able to work with students who came to us because they knew exactly what they wanted to do. They knew their exact career goals, and they knew that the college was the way to make that happen. All the way to students who kept showing up day after day after day, even though they never felt like they belonged in higher education. And you all know those students too, and everywhere in between. But, you know, what continued to get me up in the morning was this idea of supporting student success from any vantage point. During those years, I also became a student myself at Macomb, and so I had 2.5 years approximately of experience in the classroom as a community college student. And at that time, I thought that I wanted to join the esteemed ranks of our faculty colleagues, and I went on to earn my English degree in my bachelor's and my master's from Oakland University. But an opportunity opened up on the administrative side of Macomb that gave me an opportunity to see that perhaps I had some skills that would contribute to that side of the college as well. So I began working as a grant coordinator, specifically with the Perkins Grant. At that time, I also had a desire to just learn more and more about what we were doing here, this mission of community colleges. And so I joined the Doctorate in Community College Leadership program through Ferris State University, which, shameless plug, is a great program. We have many colleagues here who've been through it, so give me a call if you ever want to talk about that. But while I was in that program, I met a classmate who was working here full-time as a faculty member at HFC. Some of you remember Adam Cloutier. And when a position opened up here at the college that he thought I would be interested in, he encouraged me to apply. So long story short, I joined HFC as a Local 71 member in 2012, and I spent 6 years as the coordinator of program improvement and effectiveness, again, supporting the great work of our faculty colleagues with things like program review and our Perkins Grant program before moving into a cabinet role in 2018. And I can tell you that when I was working in the payroll office for $5.50 an hour, filing paper time cards, I never once thought that I would be standing here with you all today in any role, in any capacity. But as I said, what gets me up, thank you. But what keeps me going every day is the fact that we are literally transforming lives of everybody within our community, and that is really powerful work. And I know that work from the lens of a frontline staff member all the way up through other positions at the college. I know that it takes every single person in this room, every single skill set, to contribute to what our students experience here when they began their academic journey. I know what it means to take away even one piece of that puzzle and how it would be detrimental to the ultimate success of our students. We are all a team and we need everyone's support in this. I also know, as Chair Mozip acknowledged, that times of transition can be incredibly challenging for everyone involved and under any circumstances. But what brings me really great comfort today is knowing that every single person in this room also wants to contribute to student success and to the mission that we are achieving here as an institution. You know, we truly are all in this together. And while the board undertakes the very unenviable and difficult task of appointing a permanent president for the college, we can all continue to do our part by providing that continuity for our students, by providing that really wonderful experience that students know us for here at HFC. From the minute that they set foot on campus and interact with a staff member, through the time sitting in your classes and on to achieve their goals. That path was laid for us with teamwork under President Cavaluna's leadership and our strategic plan, and we know the way. The key is going to be for all of us to continue walking that path together, arm in arm, and doing the same great work that we have always been doing, even in times of transition and what might feel like, just very candidly, chaos at times. So I encourage everyone to continue pulling together, continuing to walk that path arm in arm, and think about the ways that you can show up and provide continuity of operations, continuity of experience, and just that same HFC that we've always been. We are still here, and judging by our enrollment, our students are still here too. They need us, and I know that we can deliver because we have so many great things as a foundation to build upon here at the college. Luckily, we also have an incredibly growing and strong team to continue with this mission together, evidenced by the next section of our presentation. As is tradition at all of our State of the College events, it is my pleasure today to be able to do several things. Welcome new teammates, acknowledge those who have moved into new or different roles here at the college, as well as celebrate some accomplishments and retirements as well amongst our team. So you are going to see a lot of names today. I'm getting my water ready before I even get into this. So what I'm going to do is ask that when I call your name, if you are here as a new teammate, to please stand and be recognized. And when we get to the end of the list, we'll give one round of applause to welcome everyone into the HFC family. And I apologize, if you were at the beginning of this list, you might be standing in that awkwardness for a little while. But as someone who has been in that situation, I can tell you it is character building, and this is a very supportive and welcoming group as well. So with that, let's welcome Sydney Allison, Food Service, Casey Andrews, Chemistry, Kashmine Arley, Facilities, Mariam Bada, Food Service, Kiana Barnes, Campus Safety, Angie Church, Admissions and Recruiting, Taylor Davis, Assisted Learning Services, Cheryl Eben, Purchasing, Megan Faulkner, Cashier, Erica Frizen, Bookstore, Jacob Gregoire, Automotive Technology, Danielle Hall, Academic Affairs, Valonda Harrison, HR Assistant, Jalen Haygood, Academic Affairs, Kevin Howley, Vice President and CFO, Amani Jadala, HR, Paul Johnson, Facilities, Nico Kanagawa, Admissions and Recruiting, Brandon Laycock, Lab Support, Ryan Leewright, Accounting, Salon Maddox, Food Service, Molly Mildenberger, Student Activities, Logan Morales, Institutional Strategy, Janella Morgan, Food Service, Amat Oshesh, Lab Support, Gopi Patel, Accounting, Timothy Patton, Facilities, Ariel Pollard, Accounting, Jack Proctor, Academic Advising, Stephen Renico, Campus Safety, Osway Salas, Student Support, Georgia Travis, Automotive Technology, and Hunter Woodkey, Facilities. Let's give them all a round of applause and a welcome. We also have a number of our teammates who, through their dedication and their good work, have been able to move on to new roles here at HFC. So same as before, we'll ask that you stand, and then we'll give one round of applause at the end for everyone. Fatima Ali, Student Support Professional. David Boomer, Database Administrator. Eileen Brennan, IR Coordinator. Alicia Burmeister, Records Associate 3. Jennifer Chapman, Benefits Manager. Tyrone Collins, Student Support Professional. Nala Haydar, Associate Dean of STEM. Stephanie Johnson, Records Associate. Manira Kassam, Director of Student Conduct and Compliance and Title IX Coordinator. Elena Kondrachek, Admissions Recruiter. Lisa Macy, Research Analyst. Sharon McAlpine, Bursar. Curtis Rusanowski, Facilities Engineer. Stephanie Cicluna, Facilities Manager. Patty Sakalidis, Creative Lead. Kathleen Walker, Student Support Professional. Tiffany Webster, Assistant Director of Total Rewards. Laura Willman, Coordinator of Institutional Effectiveness, and Ryan Zitnick, Senior Systems Administrator. Congratulations. We also have a handful of colleagues who are serving in interim roles, so I know I'm in really good company with Adrian Robeson, Interim Director of Financial Aid. Please stand if you're here. Bridget Smith-Bodos, Interim Director of Academic Services. Rico Spencer, Interim Detroit Promise Coordinator. Tracy Veritek, Interim Learning Lab Coordinator. Andrew Whitman, Interim Grant Coordinator. And Rhea York, Interim Assistant Director of Labor and Employee Relations. Thank you for your service. I believe we may also have a record number of faculty who have achieved tenure this year. If you are here, please stand and be recognized. Jeremy Edelman, Physics. Nicholas Barron, Mathematics. Christy Marie Buck, Nursing. Carolyn Casale, Pre-Education. Tina Culhane, Respiratory Therapy. Amy Ducklow, Counseling. Kathleen Jasinski, Humanities. Vineet Kaul, Physical Therapy Assistant. Heather Khanna, Biology. Jessica Mahoney, Biology. Jesse Mason, Physics. Courtney Matthews, English. Michael Petrie, Criminal Justice. Brianne Radke, English. Jermaine Reese, Criminal Justice. En Hong Sin, Math. Summer Sterud, English. And Victoria Swensicki, Accounting. Congratulations. Now, I suspect that none of these people are here because they are all off enjoying the finer things in life right now, but I would like to acknowledge our recent retirements, and if by any chance you had nothing better to do today and you showed up at State of the College, please stand so that we can recognize you. Taha Abdul Karim, Cisco. James Blair, Electronics. Anthony Conti, CIS. Barb Eisterhold, Director of Financial Accounting. Annette Gladney, Nursing. Susan Jackson, Accounting Analyst. Jillian John, Associate Dean of STEM. Rhonda Johnson, Bursar. Patricia Little, Accounting. Kathleen Rathwell, Senior Mail Clerk. Adia Sanaja, Facilities Associate. John Setkowski, Vice President of Financial Services. Mark Tade, Assistant Director of Employee and Labor Relations. Juanita Van Raden, Scanning Clerk, and Marlene White, Pre-Education. We thank them all for their service. Now, I do want to recognize 3 of our upcoming retirements because we'll very soon be celebrating these individuals' accomplishments and legacy at the college, starting with Rochelle Taylor. Rochelle, are you here? Rochelle has been our athletic director and has really revitalized and reestablished the legacy of our Hawk Athletics program during her 15 years of service at the college. She'll be retiring at the end of this month, and some of you may recall seeing a really lovely email from Vice President Holly Diamond announcing Rochelle's farewell retirement gathering, which will be held on August 28th in this building in the Rosenau Rooms. If you do plan to join us for that event, please email Holly Diamond's assistant, Melissa Daniel, by August 25th to let us know that you'll be attending. We also have Beth Preston. Beth, are you here with us today? You all know, Beth is a financial aid specialist who has really dedicated her 19 years here at the college to helping students pay for their education, and she's really done so with amazing kindness and dedication. Beth is also the founder of the SAFED HFC group, which is a faculty and staff organization that provides support and resources for our LGBTQ+ community and their allies. Beth will retire at the end of October, and we will be announcing plans for a farewell gathering for her forthcoming. We also have Diane Heiss from Payroll. Diane, are you here with us today? Diane has been at the college for nearly 10 years, and she has been supporting us in the extremely important role of making sure that we all get paid. She is known for her very cheerful hard work, and particularly for her support of our student worker population who at times find our payroll system a little bit confusing. Diane will be retiring at the end of the calendar year, and we'll let you know about a farewell event for her. So thank you all for your service. In collaboration with Vice President Holly Diamond, I'd also like to acknowledge and give a shout out to our student affairs team members who are here today wearing their Dare to Be the Change t-shirts. If you're a member of that team, will you please stand up so we can recognize you? As we move forward and towards our new SEMC project, which you'll hear a little bit more about later, this group has been working to ensure that our students and our relationship with them is really about the experience that they have with us and not just about transactions. And this is part of a larger cross-divisional initiative that also includes our members of admissions and recruiting, as well as our academic advising teams to, again, just really overhaul that student experience and ensure that they are receiving seamless support from us from the minute that they set foot in the door all the way up through their enrollment. So thank you to everyone who has been working on that very important initiative. As you know, a doctorate is the highest level of academic achievement, and I'd like to publicly honor those who have been able to achieve this amazing feat while also working full-time here supporting our employees and our students. Kathleen Jasinski, humanities instructor. She earned her Doctor of Philosophy in Humanities and Technology from Salve Regina University in Newport, Rhode Island. Her dissertation was entitled God's Laughing Too: Sacralization Through Stand-Up Comedy. Congratulations, Dr. Jasinski. Some of you are aware that we have recently concluded negotiations with our Local 71 Administrative Union. They ratified that agreement last week, and that agreement will come before the board for their consideration at the upcoming August 25th board meeting. And I'd like to thank the college's administrative team in those negotiations, led by Mark Tade and Rhea York, and the Local 71 team led by Joe Zitnick, for the very effective and collegial process that they undertook throughout these negotiations. Our collective bargaining units just across the board are incredibly important partners with us here at the college, and I would like to also acknowledge and thank the leaders of each of our bargaining units, starting with Dr. Eric Rader, president of 1650, our full-time faculty bargaining unit. We also have Dr. Lynn Boza, president of the AFO, our adjunct faculty union. Again, Joe Zitnick, president of Local 71, our administrative union. And Kim Kyer, the recently re-engaged president of the Support Staff Association, SSA. Thank you all for your collaboration. And now I have a few updates that I'd like to share with you about some of the initiatives that we have going on as we approach the fall semester, starting with one that is very near and dear to my heart, our Higher Learning Commission, or HLC, accreditation visit. As you likely know, the HLC is the entity that accredits us as a complete institution here at the college. That accreditation happens on a 10-year cycle with on-site visits occurring in years 4 and in years 10. And, you know, because we have nothing else going on right now, this year happens to be our year for a 10-year accreditation visit. So really what that looks like is that the Higher Learning Commission sets a set of criteria or standards that we are required to meet, and then it is up to us to be able to provide evidence to show that we meet those quality standards. The HLC will send a peer review team on site on Monday and Tuesday, October 27th and 28th, to engage with us here at the college. So please mark your calendars and be prepared to be on site and engaged during those days. Accreditation is incredibly important for us here at the college. Not only does it, again, assure the public that we are living up to those quality standards and that we are prepared to serve our students, but it is also the mechanism by which students are able to use federal financial aid to pay for their education here at the college. And given the enormous percentage of our students, between 60 and 70%, who are using federal financial aid, obviously it would be incredibly detrimental to us as an institution and to our enrollment if we were not to have that accredited status in good standing. It also ensures that students are able to seamlessly transfer their credits from HFC to other accredited institutions, particularly our four-year university partners. So this is really key to our operations here at the college. A core part of the work that we have to undertake as part of an accreditation visit is what's called an assurance argument. And this is an incredibly lengthy document. I was just talking to someone yesterday about it being a 40,000-word document that we have to pull together that brings together narrative and hundreds of pieces of evidence to support that narrative, to show that we are meeting those quality standards. Our lead author of the assurance argument is Betsy Cohn from the English department. Thank you, Betsy, for your amazing work on this. I have had the privilege of working with Betsy on the last 2 accreditation cycles, and I can assure you that there is no one who is more dedicated to this process who understands the nuances and the details of this quite like Betsy. I'd also like to acknowledge Logan Morales and Laura Willman, who have been serving as Betsy's daily ongoing support for the last several months in this accreditation work. They have been hounding many of you for evidence and for information to feed into this assurance argument, and certainly they are what is kind of making this project all come together right now. In addition, though, we also have an accreditation committee that has been working since November of 2024 on this. The next 2 slides show the faculty and staff who have been participating in this accreditation committee. Again, they have been helping with drafting the assurance argument, gathering evidence, and talking to you all to get a good handle on all of the work that we've been doing here at the college. So we've had Criterion 1, Mission, Sam Bazzi, Tracy Davis, and Courtney Matthews. Criterion 2, Integrity, led by Aaron Moss-Ferguson, Mike Hill, and Summer Sterrud. Criterion 3, Teaching and Learning, Vicki Bissett, Cassandra Fluker, Eric Gockenbach, Ruth Haller, Rosemary Makita, Hassan Mohseni Nameji, Cindy Scheuer, Pam Stewart, Scott Still, and Criterion 4, Brian Boehm, Eric Rader, and Jason Young. So thank you all for your efforts on this process. Our assurance argument is set to be finalized on September 29th. That's the lock date with the HLC. And at that time, our assurance argument is going to be transferred over to our peer review team so that they can start reading about all of the good work that we have been doing here at the college in preparation for their on-site visit. Again, we will have the 2-day on-site visit with a peer review team, and in advance of that, a schedule is going to come out of a series of open forums where the HLC staff is going to be communicating with us, asking questions, and really getting a better handle on, again, the good work that we're doing here. In advance of that visit, though, starting with the beginning of September, we're going to be hitting the ground running. Betsy, Logan, Laura, and I are going to be engaging in a pretty comprehensive education campaign to help prepare all of us here at the college for what that visit is going to look like and what questions are going to be asked during that on-site visit. So stay tuned for more information to come, both about the visit itself, but also about all of these different opportunities to prepare for what that visit is going to look like. The next update we have is about CourseDog. So the core of our college operations is, of course, our academic programs, our courses, and the way in which we schedule that. Under the leadership of Vice President Michael Nealon, and with the help of a lot of people at the college, from ITS to registration and records, of course, to our academic programs as well, just this morning we have officially launched our CourseDog project. Now, Course Dog is a pretty major initiative that you know we've been working on for quite a while here, and this is going to really transform the ways that we manage the academic operations at the college. And this QR code on this slide that you see here is going to take you to a login-based SharePoint page that explains Course Dog and then also gives you access to the system. Course Dog is going to integrate the ways in which we propose and edit courses, that we schedule and edit class sections, that we manage our curriculum, and then, of course, update our official college catalog every year. It's an integrated platform that's really going to be of benefit to faculty, to staff, and to students in modernizing our operations and improving manual work and improving efficiencies in how we manage these processes. It's also going to give us some pretty great data that is going to be actionable for us as we are building our class schedules every year. So, for example, it is going to be able to help us identify how many students are in a particular program and in the pipeline to need a particular class, to know how to be able to schedule, those sections appropriately, ensuring that every student here has that seamless pathway to be able to earn their degree. So this is a really fantastic system and tool that is going to really revolutionize the way that we are utilizing those operations here at the college. Now, Dr. Nealon has asked us to thank all of the faculty, staff, and administrators who participated in a series of 8 update and feedback sessions that were hosted in March and April, and also everyone who has participated in giving us feedback via the online Course Dog feedback form. Your participation certainly helped us as we were able to get to this milestone launch of the system. And similarly to the Higher Learning Commission work, of course, this type of work involves an enormous amount of people and effort across the college. So this slide highlights the leaders of every section within this work, including Dr. Nealon, Denise Pichet, Jerry Kondrachek, Karen Sedanowitz, David Mayer, and Bridget Smith-Bodos. However, beyond that, there were an additional 43 people who played an important role in reaching today's milestone. And you're in luck, I'm not going to read them all. But know that their work was all critical to the success of this project. So thank you all for this incredibly valuable work and on reaching today's milestone launch. Next up, I'd like to give an update on our strategic plan. So many of you were here at the college when we really revolutionized our strategic planning efforts with our 22 to 24 plan that was entirely focused on student success and was entirely metric driven. Now, of course, 2 years is a pretty short amount of time to be able to achieve a complete strategic plan, and we knew that, going into that plan. So what we did last fall that you may recall is that rather than wipe the slate clean, as we tended to do in the past with our strategic plans, we convened a cross-functional group of people led by, at the time, President Cavalluna and Dr. Mike Hill from the Faculty Senate to take a look at the lessons that we learned in that 22 to 24 plan, decide what parts we wanted to modify, what we wanted to keep and continue, and what needed to change completely moving forward. And with that, we developed what is now our 22 to 25 strategic plan. Efforts are already underway with this plan. Again, it is entirely focused on student success, and we're going to be showing in the next several slides exactly what that plan looks like. There have already been, though, pretty intensive efforts across the college to make improvements to how students experience their education here, both during and outside of class, and how we're really contributing, again, to overall student success. So many of you are familiar already with our strategic priorities, which did not change from the 22 to 24 plan to this new plan for 25-27. Those 4 priorities really mirror the life cycle of a student here at the college, from access or enrollment through retention, completion, and then for those who would like to, on to transfer. So our first priority is access, and within this priority we have 2 goals of increasing enrollment for 2 certain populations here at the college. Now, I recognize that some of you might have questions about the wording of our access goals in light of the current federal administration's efforts to reduce or even eliminate DEI-focused programs. But I do want to highlight the fact that we actively and consistently welcome and recruit all students to Henry Ford College. We want everyone to be able to come here and learn. As an open access institution, this is the core of our mission, and that does not change even in light of these goals. Our plan doesn't exclude anyone. If you are a student who is an adult learner, if you have a GED or a high school diploma, or you're a dual enrolled student, everyone is welcome here at the college. But because of where we are situated, we sit at the nexus of many different communities, and our mission compels us, again, as open access, to serve all of those communities. So we identified groups that were underrepresented and underserved at the college, again, based upon our region's demographics. And we recognized with these two goals that those students also deserve the same level of access. So to keep this access goal squarely in front of us, we did identify two populations, our Black and Hispanic student populations, so that we can continue to work on ensuring greater access and representation here at the college for those students. Our second priority is retention, and really with this priority, what we are hoping to achieve is that students can earn more credits faster here at the college. We know, based upon research and studies, both external to HFC as well as our own internal data, that students who keep that credit momentum going and are able to complete credits semester after semester have a higher chance of earning their degree. It makes sense, right? So we have many students here at the college who can't enroll full-time, but regardless of whether you are a full-time or a part-time student, we want to keep that credit momentum going, and that is what this priority is really all about. So there's a lot of groups at the college who are already working hard to improve our student experience and improve all of those ways that we can keep students retained here at the college towards graduation and then on towards transferring. With our completion priority, this is squarely centered on what many of you know as our IPEDS graduation rate. And you likely recall that this is a particular metric that has been very frustrating to us as an institution over the years. We are compelled to report our IPEDS graduation rate a little bit differently than some other community colleges because we do offer a bachelor's degree program here. And that has led to us having to reporting a little bit differently again than some of our peers and looking as though maybe our graduation rate is not quite the same as other community colleges. And I won't go into all of the details and the nuances about that reporting because many of you know that I could talk about that for a very long time. But a couple things that I would like for you to know about that work. We know that with our graduation rate, we are measuring students who complete their associate's degree within what's considered 150% of normal time. Now, for an associate's degree, that is 3 years. So we are measuring the first-time, full-time students who are, again, achieving that goal within a 3-year period. And that's a pretty small portion of our student population, but, in some ways, that may be actually the easiest population for us to be able to complete because those students are typically our traditional age students who have the least number of other distractions and other obligations outside of their college work. Many of our students, though, who could historically have completed these degrees within a 3-year period, just frankly were not doing so. In 2018, we had one of the lowest graduation rates in the state of Michigan at 6.1%. Now, that was disheartening, of course, at the time, but we have been undergoing some pretty significant efforts here at the college to be able to turn that around, including auto-awarding of certificates, and now we are on to auto-awarding of degrees. We've also been doing a project in the advising area called Within Reach, where we are identifying students within that cohort of students being measured for the graduation rate and really applying intensive outreach to them to ensure that they are on track to complete their goals. We also have our Learn Forward transfer program that, while it's a transfer program, also has baked in a requirement that students complete their associate's degree within 3 years, again, counting towards that graduation rate. So, thanks to efforts on the part of everybody here at the institution, I am happy to report some good news on this particular metric. We know that our fall 2021 cohort has already hit 25% graduation rate. So that is huge. From 6.1% in 2018 to 25% today is an enormous achievement, and now our goal is to be able to sustain and even improve upon that metric even more. Our last priority is transfer, and really what we are hoping to do with this particular priority and goal is very much in line with our completion priority as well. We know that about 50% of our students here at the college intend to transfer on to a four-year institution. However, many of those students who transfer take the credits and run. They do not get that associate's degree along the way. And what we are hoping to instill with this particular goal is that there is value in earning that associate's degree along the way. So we are hoping to increase our transfer out with award rate, which does kind of two things for us. Number one, it does help count towards our completion rates within that IPEDS graduation rate metric, but it also allows the students to leave with a credential that they will be able to carry with them regardless of what happens once they leave our doors and go on to a four-year institution. These priorities remain the same as what they have been in the past. We have a lot of great efforts that are underway on all of our strategic priorities. We have a cabinet member who has been assigned to oversee each one of these priorities and the associated goals. And I encourage you, if any of you would like to contribute to this work or have ideas, please reach out to these cabinet members and share your ideas and get involved. Let's talk about SEMC. Many of you know that for about the last year and a half, we had been discussing and preparing to create what is sometimes known as SEMC, sometimes known as SEMSEC, depending on who you talk to, but is really the Southeast Michigan Student Success Center. Now, this project is very squarely tied to our strategic plan, and it's going to help us serve students and welcome the community, serving as the new front door, if you will, to Henry Ford College, and also affording us an opportunity to revitalize classroom space in our liberal arts building as well. Now, many of you at the college have contributed to these discussions, and we thank you for all of your input. We have a project steering committee, which is led by Vice President Holly Diamond, Vice President Kevin Howley, Dean Brad Romans, and Facilities Director Ruben Bruckley. They have been continuing to have very detailed and ongoing discussions with Stantec, our architecture firm, and Granger, our construction firm, about this project. However, it may not surprise you to hear that there have been major changes in the construction industry in 2025. In particular, this includes extremely large increases to the cost of new construction. What we were planning initially as about a $90 million project when we launched in fall of 2024 has, under today's landscape and today's pricing, increased that cost by more than 50%. So if we were to execute the SEMC with the original plans, it would cost us approximately $139 million to complete that project. So it is clear that we are going to perhaps need to pivot, but I can assure you that this project is going to move forward. It might look a little bit different than what we initially envisioned, but we are going to stay true to the project's mission and to the initial goals that we set forward when we began this journey, and with what we have indicated to the community that we intend to do with this project as well. We are going to continue to focus on all aspects of student success with this project. So the steering committee within HFC is working very closely with the Board of Trustees, including the board's Building and Site Committee, to reimagine what this project is going to look like in a way that adheres to all of our goals while staying within the scope of what we are able to budget for this project. So that work is ongoing. I regret that I don't have more details to be able to share with you today on this front, but we are truly in the thick of it right now in working with the board. So there is going to be an upcoming study session with the Board of Trustees where we are going to discuss this project in a little more depth and detail, and we are going to use that meeting as an opportunity to be able to discuss next steps. As soon as we have more information, though, we will absolutely be sharing this out with all of you at the college, and we'll be updating the SEMC webpage as well. In the meantime, though, we do continue to welcome any comments, any input that you all have about this project. So the QR code on this slide will take you to the comment form where you can share any of your insights and any of your ideas for this project. Also, as we move forward, we will continue to have opportunities for people to be involved, for people to be able to give input from all areas of the institution, including our students. This is very important to us, able to incorporate all of your feedback as we move forward. So stay tuned for more updates on the SEMC project. As Chair Mozip also indicated, we're looking for a new president here at the college. So after President Cavaluna's departure in July, the Board of Trustees is leading a search for a permanent president of HFC. And as a reminder, the board did distribute an email to everyone college-wide on May 21st outlining what that process is going to look like. So the first step is that they convened an ad hoc committee that is reviewing an RFP or request for proposals to select a search firm that is going to help the college in leading this effort. So that ad hoc committee work is underway. That is following the recent resignation of Vice Chair Irene Watts. Chair Mozip has stepped in onto that committee, as well as with Secretary Amar Zar and Trustee Mary Petlichkoff. The board will be establishing a search committee this fall. The committee is going to work in tandem with the selected search firm and conduct a national search for the permanent president. The board will be communicating with all of you and the public about further developments, as this search progresses. And you are certainly all welcome to attend any of our board meetings to get more information on this process. Our next board meeting will be occurring on Monday evening, August 25th. And on the note of the board, as Chair Mozip indicated, we did have two recent resignations with Irene Watts and Hussein Berry. And I would also like to publicly thank them both for their tireless service here to the college. We truly are going to miss having their insights and their involvement with us here at HFC. They have both been long-standing board members and really excellent advocates for the work that we do here. So we thank them for their dedication and the time that they spent with us. So those are the updates that I would like to share with you today. It continues to be a privilege to be able to serve our students alongside all of you, again, from any role in any capacity. I'm really grateful for the teamwork that we have all been displaying and for that continued work as we move into the fall semester. And I think we've done pretty well on time. We do have some microphones here. If anyone has any questions, please raise your hand and we will get a microphone to you.
Sections get full, and we don't have enough sections, especially English classes, CIS classes. So we want to have more students, but are we able to bring in more faculty, or how is that also planned? I don't know. It's a comment question. I don't know. Thank you.
Sure, absolutely. And this is something that, that has been an ongoing effort on the part of our human resources team in collaboration with academic affairs. You may know that we do have a set number of full-time faculty that we are contractually required to meet every year, with 177 full-time faculty this year, and that we fill all of our additional teaching spots from our adjunct ranks. And, over the last several years, we do recognize that there have been challenges in being able to get enough adjuncts in some of those core classes particularly. So this is something that we work very closely with our partners in academic affairs on, to be able to identify the areas of the highest need at the college. One thing, though, that I am really encouraged about is that CourseDog, I think, is going to be a key that is going to help us with some of this. Again, I spoke about that data capability within the CourseDog system, so that we are going to be able to really keep our finger on the pulse well in advance of how many sections we are going to need of any class, depending upon the students who are in the pipeline. So it's going to allow us to be a lot more proactive as opposed to reactive, because I do recognize that one of the challenges, again, knowing this from my lens in HR, is that we are often scrambling at the 11th hour to be able to add sections and to find adjuncts to teach those sections. And that's challenging for everyone. That's challenging on the part of the adjunct faculty as well, being handed a textbook an hour before the class starts and, being sent off into battle. That's not fun for the adjunct either. So we are working really diligently to be able to overcome those challenges with staffing. And again, I think we're going to be in a pretty good place moving forward with some more advanced technology that's going to be able to help us with that work. So I appreciate appreciate everyone's patience as we've gotten to this point. I also hear about this challenge from our academic advisors, as well as those working with new students in orientation, when students are coming, particularly those who are registering a little bit later, and to not have all of those sections available. The other side of this, though, too, is being able to identify that perhaps there are other ways that students can sequence their courses. It may not necessarily be, what we typically envision. I think that there is that perception that every first semester a student is going to be in English 131 or going to be in, a certain core set of classes. And right now, while we are in this a little more challenging space, we may have to just look a little bit differently and think a little bit differently about what opportunities there are for students to get into some of these classes at these later junctures. We're also continuing to monitor, though, and add classes that might be 12 weeks or second 8 weeks as well. So again, we're keeping on that, and I think we're going to be in a really good spot moving forward thanks to some new technologies.
I just wanted to add a welcome to 2 full-time members of STEM that got missed. John Patrick in mathematics, I believe is here somewhere, and Nagam Mehdi, who is in biology. So I just wanted to add
Thank you.
We are trying to get more enrollment from underrepresented population, but those populations in my classes, not the ones who pass, but the ones who fail, are more likely not, they just come for first week and then I don't see them. So are we focusing on the ones who we have also, or just focusing on getting new students and just, because they have life, they have living. We want to increase their, whatever they have, better opportunities.
Absolutely. If I understand your question correctly, it is, are we just trying to gain enrollment, particularly with the populations that we've called out in the strategic plan, without being able to have good supports in place for those students moving forward? And this is exactly what we were hoping to reflect in that life cycle of the student, the student journey with all of our strategic priorities. So access is not sufficient without retention, without the ability to complete. So this is why it takes all of us working together here at the college, all of those puzzle pieces coming together from the cabinet level all across the institution to ensure that we have both components simultaneously. And we do have some pretty significant efforts that have been underway on the retention side of the house as well. And this is something that we are looking at more intentionally too with our underrepresented populations. One of the things that we do often talk about, though, is that all of our students, regardless of what your background looks like, may need supports at certain times. So ideally, whatever supports we put in place would hold true for students across all of our student populations. But if we can really drill into what our most at-risk students need, and then build from there, then we can ensure benefit, for everybody across the institution. But it certainly takes all of us working together, and we cannot have one priority without the other. If you have any ideas as to what we could be able to do in that priority, though, please do let us know. Vice President Holly Diamond is working on the retention priority, and I know that she always welcomes additional ideas as well.
We had 2 new faculty members in liberal arts as well. Wanted to recognize those folks. That's no fault of yours, Lori. They're late additions, so they didn't make it on your slide for that reason. But Karen Larson-Boltz is right here. Karen, would you stand up in studio art? Welcome, Karen. And Russell Jones, would you stand up for art history as well? Welcome, Russell.
Welcome to you both.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elise Hogan. I am a program advisor. Okay, I'll stand up. I'm a program advisor for science, and I just wanted to speak a little bit on that retention piece. So one of the things that we're doing in advising is that we have some technology that keeps track of our students' grades and scores, and when they are struggling, we get alerts to reach out to them. And additionally, I know, thank you to my biology professors who have been hitting me with the alerts for struggling students. If you're able to do that, we have an improved system than what you've experienced in the past, and those alerts do come to us. We follow up with the students, and I've been doing my best to get back to the professors and inform them. So we do have some things in the advising office that we're really working on for retention.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that system that Elise spoke about it's pretty slick. It's called the Lucian Advise, and it's something that we've been implementing over the last couple years. It has what's called student success scores built in so that we can really get ahead of and be proactive with caseload management for our advising population. So thank you for that reminder, Elise.
We have a new faculty member in HHS, Fred Williams. I'm leading our new exercise science and sports management programs.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Lonsdale, English faculty and director of the Writing Center. I'm going to take us back to the enrollment and retention point. One thing that I think would really help with that is investing in and developing a more robust academic support center and team and area. I see lots of heads nodding. I will share a little bit more about this with Tracy. Where is Tracy? Tracy and I will talk about this a little bit more during faculty org, but since there's a bigger body of people in here, I will share one update with you that we have made to, I guess in light of that. That goal is to move the writing center up into the learning lab in the former bone room space. And it was just brought to my attention this morning that concourse syllabus reflects the old location in the library, which we'll miss greatly. But expect an email with more information soon. In the meantime, we would really appreciate your support and your advocacy in developing robust academic support center. We know that our students need it. We know that faculty should be involved in that. And so I think that's just a point we should carry with us through the semester. So thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. I also just wanted to mention two of our staff members who are in new positions as well. They were not on the slide, but I wanted to make sure they were mentioned. Katrina Minnis and Kelly Baratono are both in new roles as enrollment services coordinators.
So I just wanted to say, my name is Andrea. I'm also part of the admissions and recruiting team, same as Lamar. We're just, running up and down, so hard to miss. But just on the side of access and encouraging enrollment, we have a lot of new people on our team and a lot of people who are switching positions, and including myself, we've only been here for a couple of months. But we're super excited to work with you guys and get to know what you guys are all doing. So if you ever have any events going on that you're proud of or excited about, the admissions and recruiting team would love to be there, know more about it, just so we can see how we can collaborate. I know we have a lot of cool events that we'd love to have you guys be a part of. So definitely, if there's ever anything going on that you're just working hard on, don't hesitate to let us know. That's one thing.
Thank you.
Rico Spencer, Detroit Promise. To that enrollment and retention, one of the things that we do in Detroit Promise, we're always constantly looking at how we can get better to serve our students. So we developed, when Elise was in our office, we had already started this, like a pathways, like understanding why the students are here. Like why are you here to get a 2-year so you can transfer to a 4-year? Are you here to get a 2-year so you can just go into the workforce? Are you here to get a certificate? And then that way we know how the best way to approach that student, because it's a different way each student. If a student is here to graduate and then go to a 4-year, now we're planning and putting in the process of like how we attack you here versus, and then how we're going to get you out of here to go to that 4-year versus, oh, you're just here to get your associate's degree and go to work. Then now it's like, okay, it's a different way of attacking that. So that way, if we're not treating all the students like they're on the same path to do the same thing, then it's like, for them, they know that they're more in control of it. It's like, hey, you understand, I'm just here to get a degree to go to work. Okay, cool. So now let's work on that. So then we can focus, and we're not so much putting the pressure on, well, you need to be taking this, so if you want to transfer, and it's like, no, I just want to work. So, okay, cool. We're going to make sure that we focus on that. And so they seem more comfortable and more of a buy-in to know that we're listening to what they want to do and not like what we think they should be doing.
Thank you, Rico. All right, if we have no more questions or additional comments, I will turn this over to Dr. Hill for our faculty organization meeting. About 10-minute break, Dr. Hill? 10:20. Okay, thank you all. This was so fun. Thank you.